Another night of violence and riots on the streets of Philadelphia after a black man was shot and killed by police officers. He was charging at them with a knife as they responded to a domestic dispute. Now his death has sparked violence and anarchy. It's now becoming another political football just days before one of the most anticipated elections in American history. Congressman Daniel Meuser is a Pennsylvania Republican. He joins us live now on National Report. Congressman, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Emma. Nice to be with you.
Now, I think a lot of people are watching and they're wondering why the death of a young black man, which is currently under investigation, makes it okay for people to loot department stores and burn down local businesses. What do you make of how this is all playing out?
Well, it's terrible. We have looters shooting looters. I think there were 30 people. There were 30 police officers injured. There were 12 looters and others in the streets shot. We have terrible leadership in our cities. The idea that we didn't have some sort of anticipation like something like this could occur during this tumultuous time is seriously unacceptable. Our governor actually came out and said he hopes the peaceful protests don't turn any worse. We have an attorney general who's been completely silent on the issue. We have a mayor in Philadelphia who had absolutely no preparation. Listen, there's no reason for finger pointing. We passed a Justice Act in Congress that would create some reforms. Why there hasn't been more communication with the police, with the elected officials, and with the community, it's just wrong. Terrible planning. We have very poor leadership in far too many of our cities. We're losing businesses. It's just bad from all the way around.
Yeah.
Emma, we saw what happened. That was a no-win situation. There was nothing the police officers could do other than this thing wind up terrible, and yet we have leaders that don't mandate zero tolerance for violence, and yet support our police, but with any necessary forms that we agree upon.
Yeah.
Bad management all around.
Yeah, absolutely. There are reporters on the scene who are capturing this play out and unfold in real time, and they captured some very disturbing video of 3 Jewish demonstrators actually being attacked by Black Lives Matter protesters. Watch this.
Amalek, what y'all doing down here? You live here?
Not far.
You don't live here? Y'all know we the real Jews, right?
Y'all gotta go. This ain't y'all fight. Y'all gotta go. Okay. Show solidarity. We don't need no solidarity. Okay. We good. Walk off. Let's walk. Let's walk.
Yo, start. Get the out. Get the out of here. Get the
We're about to get trash, cuz.
So it did eventually. Not only was there verbal harassment, but it looks to be some physical altercation as well at the end. And what we're learning is these men, they were supporting the protesters. As you say, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Governor Tom Wolf of Pennsylvania have called this a peaceful event. Is that a fair way to classify it when we see instances like this play out?
It's the worst sort of leadership. Let's face it, Biden and Harris would not condemn it until they read polls that they thought that it would be more helpful to them to denounce the riots. I mean, that's just highly unacceptable, terrible leadership to focus on your short-term political gains or those you perceive rather than the long-term good. So, all that has done is encourage this sort of violence. When you don't have the back of the blue line, that very thin blue line, things like this will continue to happen, and it's encouraged. It's terrible. We need the right leadership. If there's one thing that we should be able to be united on, it is peaceful demonstrations and nonviolence in our streets. The people of Pennsylvania, the people of America deserve at least that from our elected officials.
Yeah, I mean, of course, as we know, the right to peacefully protest, a guaranteed First Amendment right. But again, that key word, peaceful here. And even the family of the victim has denounced this chaos that we're seeing unfold. Here's that.
And I don't condone no violence, tearing up the city, looting up the stores, and all this chaos going on. And I would feel like, is everybody having respect for my family and my son to stop this violence and chaos was going on in the city, where people got to have business and we all got to eat.
I mean, clearly, you know, these rioters and violent protesters are destroying their own community, right? The places where they shop themselves.
Yep.
It makes you wonder how this comes across, though, for people who are going to cast their ballots in 5 days. How does this impact the state of the race?
Well, it certainly impacts it. It seems one side is on the side of law and order with virtually zero tolerance, yet be willing to discuss the issues at hand, just like we attempted to do with the Justice Act filed by Tim Scott. The other side just wants to condone it, play prevent defense, pretend it's not happening, and in all the while they are encouraging it. So yes, the people of Pennsylvania do not like this. In the suburbs, in the cities, people are fleeing the cities. It plays very strongly into the type of leadership that we must have: reasonable outreach, support our police, support law and order, denounce any sort of violence, but work together to improve.
Yeah, and of course, law and order, such a priority on a lot of voters' minds as they head to the polls. Congressman Daniel Meuser joining us live this morning. Congressman, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.